I'm just getting it.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me as always, my podcast partners, Joe Hartley and Angel Diaz. What's up, fellas?
Going on.
What's up, man?
Also joining us this week is the unofficial fifth member of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the big sushi himself, Jeff Doss. What's up, man?
What's up?
We are members of the Martial Arts Center Network. Angel, what did we talk about?
Bro, that's a whole different show.
Why would it be any different? I do the same intro for both shows. Why would it be?
Bro, that's
okay, so on Mondays we got the Winner's Circle with myself, Angel, Isaiah Gathings, and Chris Walker. Tuesdays is Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. Wednesdays, you got the traditional way with Brett Shumway. Thursdays is Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Gene, Joe, and Angel. For more information, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts Center Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. Fellas, it's showtime. What's going on, guys?
Hey, who's our fourth member?
What?
Mike.
Oh, yeah, Mike. That's right, Mike.
He said fifth, and I'm like,
yeah. Well, I said the unofficial fifth member, but Jeff has been on the show more than anybody else.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm like.
And when Mike tagged out, and I had to get a new partner, Jeff stepped in quite a bit during that time.
Yeah.
So
Jeff a bunch, and then didn't Alex step in and bring in?
Alex came in once. I believe.
Yeah, was it Jeff or Alex that brought in the guy from Sidekicks?
Yeah, I brought in Wayne. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Wayne.
what I thought. I knew it was one of y'all.
Yeah. So
that was a good episode. That was fun.
I wish I could remember. I guess I got to go back and listen. I very rarely listen to our show.
No, because
that was a long time ago.
Well, that was because that was before Angel and I were on, so I was listening to it. So.
But even still, even now, when that time you and Angel held it down when I was away, and you guys did it. I listened to that, but I think that's the only other time. It hasn't been too many times where I have not been on the show. And Joe,
I have to check it out sometimes. No, I've only missed one or two. I've had to go back and listen a few times because my brother will text me stuff, and I'll be like, when you're in it, you kind of forget about what we talked about.
I do.
So I'm like, did I really say that, or did you? I'm like, who said that?
You guys tell me that all the time, and I'm like, I said that because I don't think I just say stuff.
Yeah.
I know that's the thing, but that's what Trav originally wanted from this. He said, right off the bat, he's like, I just want y'all to go out and talk like you're just hanging out with each other. Okay, are you sure?
Then he changed that. He changed
it. Well, to a certain extent.
Then he made a mistake. He said, "Never mind, too much, really bad."
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like that you guys aren't on Facebook Live. I like that. Okay, I mean,
we wouldn't stay on Facebook.
No,
I think we've only done two episodes on Facebook.
After Gene clicking that damn video 10, 15 times, we ain't never gonna get back on there. We over there showing the ESPN UFC video where they set the report. Bro, I had 15 timestamps. I said, God damn.
Bro, y'all were killing me. Y'all were killing me because it was like a day after. So most of the time on Inside Scoop, right after a big tournament, a NASCAR tournament, that's one of our biggest, ones. Everyone wants to hear what we're going to say about it. And then I had to be like, all right, go to YouTube, do this and that. But we got a lot of new followers on YouTube and Instagram from that and Twitch. So, hey, it worked. I always look at a positive.
Hey, I got you, Gene. I know what you were doing. You were setting it up. I got you.
Well, I mean, Isaiah was breaking down something, the fight, and I had did it previously, just played it back, and I never thought. I figured since it's already on YouTube, Like we can't really get that much trouble. It was no sound. It was just the images. I didn't think it would be that big of a deal, but evidently Facebook thought different. So, martial arts and the network were banned for a little while, for about a week.
I don't think you were live the other time that you did that. So,
huh?
I don't think you were live the other time you did that. I thought the other time.
I think so. I think we were, but the other ones were Isaiah's own personal videos. Exactly. So this one was different. This was a UFC video. So.
Hey Jeff, did you listen to the show with Robbie for the Winner's Circle?
Yes.
Yo, he cracked me up when we asked him his favorite martial arts movie. He said King of the Kickboxer. I said, bro, Jeff's been talking about that damn movie for like 4 years.
I forgot about that movie completely.
Like literally 4 years he's been talking about
that. Was my childhood, man.
So yeah, I swear to God, he is the only other person I've ever heard say that movie. Like no one's ever said that other than you and him. And it just had me cracking up. And I was like, man, that's such a bad movie. But hey,
I've never seen it. So
is Blood Fist. So I can't talk really because Blood Fist is another terrible movie.
Hey man, to each its own,
Yeah, people love it. So is what it is.
Bro, the thing is, it's like I've been listening to a lot of different, podcasts and things, and the thing is that videotape generation. You know what I mean? Like we went to video stores, like VHS stores. And I mean, I went to those so much to get wrestling tapes and karate tapes, and that's what I did. And we went so much that the owners would give us some of the, like you go in there and it looks like they're advertising everything. They got banners, posters, just like if you were going live to the movie to sit, right? Yeah, and so that was cool. I got like so many, like I got Double Impact. The banner, I had that in my dojo for years, right? I had so many things like that they would give me. And I just think you're going into places like that, you're just trying to find something you never saw, right? And so those types of movies from the early 90s and the late 80s, it just had this feel. I mean, the acting wasn't good at all, but you felt like you're watching something like that was just different. You know what I mean? Like the bamboo cage and stuff like that is in that movie. There's stuff that it just takes you back. I mean, I don't remember. Like, I didn't watch martial arts movie because the acting was good. I don't remember. I was a kid. I watched it because
you just like the karate.
Yeah.
Joe, speaking of that video stores, Joe, did you see the guy at Comic-Con yesterday walking around with a Blockbuster video?
Yeah.
You saw that guy?
Yeah, I forgot to take a picture of him, but he was interesting. Because the funny thing is, like, most people that would understand what he was doing and what it was like our age. The rest of those younger kids are like, the hell is that?
They wouldn't know. Yeah, they wouldn't have known what it was.
Yeah.
But it was a guy walking around and he had like a stand and it was designed like a Blockbuster video. And he had all of the different things that would be in Blockbuster on this little thing he was walking around with. It was like almost like I don't know if it was like he was like pulling a wagon, but it was tall. It was a display or whatever.
It was like a small kiosk.
Yeah. It's like a kiosk. Yeah, he was walking around.
Hey, that's funny because even that was so advanced that Blockbuster didn't do it.
Oh, that's dude. Funny, but did it have a sign that says "Be kind, please rewind"?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I did not look at him that long. I saw him and kept it moving.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the best.
And he was dressed like a Blockbuster employee and everything.
He was. Go ahead, Joe. Kick it off, man. How was your weekend and everything?
Okay. I got a lot, so I'm going to try and condense it. So last week we got my wife's brakes on her car fixed. She needed everything, so expensive. And I was going to wait a couple more days for my mechanic, who's a little bit further away. But he takes care of us, and he's considerably cheaper. Especially he's one of those guys, like, if it doesn't need to be fixed right away and I can still drive on it, like, he'll tell me. So my mom was kind of freaking out. So she's like, just take it over here to where I get my oil changed and everything should be fine. So everything was good. They got it done. I picked up the car. So Thursday, my wife takes my car because her air is broken. I got to fix that. And she takes my daughter to her singing lesson. She calls me right after the singing lesson. She's like halfway home. My tire popped. It's flat, whatever. I said, all right. So I went over there. I changed it, made an appointment at Discount Tire, took care of that. That was taken care of on Friday. On the way back from my mother-in-law, so I drove my mom in her car. My wife took the kids in hers. My wife calls me the second I got home. My wife and my daughter call me. Mom's tire's flat. I said, didn't I just deal with this with my car? So I go, and they're right out. They're like 2 minutes from my house. So that's what made it mad, because it's late. It's like 10:30, 11 o'clock. I'm like, I'm ready to go to bed. So I'm like, okay, I go out there, and they're right on the side of the road. So the tire was not flat.
Okay, it was drivable.
The tire, 5 of the 4, what do you call it? Lug nuts came off.
Oh,
the tire was on its side.
Oh.
So I'm like, I'm not messing with this. Like, this is too much for me. So I hit my AAA app, 2.5 hours. So they weren't going to get there till 1:30. So I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to let AAA, hopefully that'll change, because a lot of times they'll say 2 hours and then no, they took the full 2 hours. So by the time they were going out there, I figured it out, man. I got it up as high as I could get it. I took a lug nut off each tire and I put it back on, and I just said, get this home. We'll take it to the mechanic tomorrow. And that's what I did, man. Canceled the AAA and we were done with that. So I take it over to the mechanic today. They're giving me crap trying to tell me this was my fault. I looked this guy dead in the eye. I was like, I'm going to tell you right now. I have 2 friends that are mechanics. They told me the biggest issue where this happens is either you guys put it on wrong or you put the lug nuts too tight. So I was like, don't have me go call Jeffrey Feiger or Mike Morris and have them over here telling me, that I did this. I didn't do this. This thing was running just fine, minus the brakes, until y'all messed with it. So they took care of it for free.
Good.
So that was my weekend. Other than that, Comic-Con was a really good time. We had a lot of fun. I don't know if you guys saw the pictures. I dressed as Steve from Minecraft. I mean, I pretty much am Jack Black, so it worked out pretty well. And then today was my son's birthday. He turned 13. So we went over. There's a place in Novi, literally over by Comic-Con, called Paradise Point or something like that. And it has go-karts and mini golf, laser tag. So we did the gambit. We did some go-karts, we did some mini golf and laser tag. So
okay. Well, happy birthday to
Wendy's. Him. Yep, got some Wendy's. And that was it. Went to my mom's, had some dinner over there, and he wanted donuts. My kids don't like cake. All 3 of my kids are not like they'll.
You see how he said that? He said that like it was a problem. He said that
like I've never met kids that don't like cake. Every kid I know at least likes some kind of cake. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's just weird. They don't like cake or pie.
Both of them.
That
is weird. That's different.
I feel like pie is more of an adult dessert, and I see kids like cake more than the pie. But
that's what whatever. I thought. But most of my kids, they just want ice cream, or like I said, my son and my oldest, they just go for donuts. They're like, "What do you want for your birthday?" Donuts. Okay, that's easy. I'd go to Dunkin' Donuts, get a dozen, and we're good. Out. Perfect. Put a candle in it, and we're good. Other than that, just I'm exhausted. I'm gonna tell you right now, running around at Comic-Con and then running around with my son today, I feel my age. I'm like,
man. I'm gonna tell you.
I don't want to feel that way, but I'm like, we used to do like a tournament on Saturday, Sunday, and then get up no problem the next day. Now I'm like, this hurts, that hurts, this hurts. I'm exhausted. I'm just like, God, I didn't do that much.
Yeah.
I did enough, but dang. I'm just tired, man. So
yeah, me and Melissa also were talking about, man, I'm awfully sore. My legs hurt. I did over 10,000 steps at Comic-Con because I put my Fitbit on before I walked out the house.
Oh.
So when we got done, I was like, yeah, this is all from today. This walking these, and I was there for maybe, I left at 5. I got there about 2:30 or whatever. And me and Joe were trying to text each other, but our
the
our
Wi-Fi
texts were
there is
coming in.
always terrible. It's always really
Yeah,
bad.
it was real bad. And the funny thing, I was looking for you. We both were looking for you. So let me ask you this: are you and Greg identical twins or fraternal?
We're identical.
You're identical. Okay. I've always been able to tell the difference between you and Greg, even when we were kids. Like, I've always been able to tell the difference. This guy that I saw Saturday looked just like you. Now, the only reason I knew it wasn't you was because he was maybe a little bit shorter than me, and you're taller than me. So I'm looking at a guy in his eye, and Melissa was like, "Is that Joe?" I said, "No, but he has Joe's whole face. He
No.
looks like." I'm looking at him in his eyes, and I'm like, and I saw him for a distance, and then we were walking toward him, and I'm looking right at him. This guy probably was like, "What's this black guy looking at? Why is he looking at me like this?" Because I'm looking at him like, he got to be related to Joe or something. And I'm looking around. I'm looking around in the area because maybe this is a cousin that I've never met before. But I told Melissa, I said, I know that's not Joe because Joe is here with his kids. This guy does not have any kids, and he's a little bit shorter than what Joe is. But he looked just like you. And me and Melissa, when we walked by, and we just kind of looked at each other like, damn. I was like, I got to tell Joe, but I can't even get through to text you. The text messages weren't even going through. So it was what it was.
The other thing is, so I caught the actors playing Hawk and Miguel.
Yeah,
like kind of on a break. Like they didn't really have anybody over there.
Oh wow!
So
really?
I tried to see if they'd let me do it, and it was like right before they were ready to done. I tried to see if they'd let me talk to them like for 5 minutes just to get some sound bites. And they were like, "No, you got to set that up beforehand." I'm like, I really try. I was like, listen, I'm a martial artist. Like, I can show you pictures. I can show you pictures. Like, we got this podcast network, and everything. Their people, they were like talking like they would be okay with it, but their people were real sticklers about it, man. I was kind of mad. I was like, come on, give me 5 minutes.
That's why they have
soundbite or two.
That's why they have people, so you could be mad at their people and not be mad at them.
I know, but you know what's crazy? Jacob, who plays Hawk, he had a hat on. He didn't even have the mohawk out.
Of course he's not. He had his hat turned to the side and everything.
I mean, come on, you got to have the mohawk out if you're at Comic-Con.
Every time I went by them, they had a bunch of people there.
Like I said, this was right towards the end, so I think they were just wrapping up.
Okay.
So I figured I was just gonna sneak in there, but nope, it didn't happen.
All right, Angel, what's up with you, man? You've been MIA from both shows for a while. This is the first time I've talked to you.
Listen, man,
he's busy.
Life has been crazy. There's a lot going on, but I'm just happy the next one. That's really it. I really ain't got nothing else to talk about. Seriously,
I knew he was gonna sneak that in there.
It's just crazy, man. Life is crazy. That's all I can say. So yeah, go ahead, Jeff, or Gene, whatever one of y'all.
Go ahead, Jeff.
What's up, guys? So yeah, it's been a while since I've been on, but thanks for having me on. I tell you, Joe. So your weekend sounded like my weekend last weekend. Okay. So last weekend I did seminars in Maryland, and I was driving back. I finished like teaching Saturday at like 6 p.m., 6:30. So it's about 4 hours. I was about 5 hours on the road, but with all the traffic and everything. So I get home at 12. As soon as I laid down, so my the youngest of my stepkids, it was out driving from prom to after prom. Okay. And he's driving Shelly's car. So he says a beaver. He didn't really know what the heck it was, right?
A beaver.
I'm thinking it was a big groundhog. He hits that and he's like, there's a bad smell. Come get it. So as soon as I lay down, literally 5 minutes, I'm about to close my eyes. He calls. So we have to get in the car, go over there. And it's there. And again, where I live, it's in the middle of nowhere. Okay. So I don't want the car on the side of the road. I don't, they're out. The kids are walking around in the middle of the road. Like, get out of the freaking road. Get, like people, rednecks drive around here crazy, especially at midnight. People stuff. Like, we don't want that. So get out. Let me get in the car. Let me drive it to some area to where I don't care if it's in someone's yard. I just don't want it in the middle of the road. Right. And so it messed up the radiator, and I called AAA, and they're like, yeah, it'll probably be maybe 4 o'clock. And it was 12:15 or 12:30 at that time. And it's like, all right. And literally, we didn't really get an answer from them until an hour and a half after that. So then we're like, you can just leave the keys. We'll get it or whatever. So we're like, all right, whatever. We're going to bed. They ended up not getting the car till 7 a.m. the next morning.
Oh, hell no.
Good thing I didn't wait, right?
Right.
So a small little animal, you think, all right, whatever. Monday, we get the news that, yeah, they're going to call it totaled. And we're like, well, okay. Like, it was just out of nowhere. We went, Shelly was kind of having, a hard time with it. Like, what do we do now? Like, here, just get in the car. Let's drive. Let's just get away from the dojo for a little bit. And there was a car that we had saw on the side of the road for sale. We went and looked at it, and we picked it up. It was the exact price that we were going to get from the settlement and everything. And we're like, all right, this is what we got to do. So it was just like something I didn't expect to have to do out of nowhere, get a new vehicle, deal with all that. Lots going on, right? And so this weekend was the oldest college graduation at William and Mary. So we needed a car to get up there. And the youngest had a senior night for soccer. So it was like, the way they do it, they 2 different graduations. So she went up Friday for one, and we were all going to go Saturday for the second one so we could see Sean, the youngest, do his last night of soccer. So that got rained out. So it was just like nothing went the way. So I just got in. We got in today from college graduation. It was awesome. Great weekend. I got here, did some chores at home, then started teaching online, and then here I am with you guys. So
busy.
Yeah.
Can I say, hold on, before you go.
Go ahead.
Gene,
go ahead.
I just want to say it's quick just because now it's coming from like 2 places. I think, in my honest opinion, I personally hate, like when I say hate, I hate the service you get from AAA. Like, I actually have like a huge problem with it. Because just hearing you guys say it, I've had a bunch of issues where I've had to be towed before. And like when I tell you I absolutely hate it, I mean I hate it. Like I just don't understand like what the issue is and why it's so difficult. I never understand it. And it drives me nuts because I'm just like, dude, like I just don't get, like, what am I paying for? Like I really like you know what I mean? Like I really don't understand. Like what am I paying for? Like I get it.
If you hit them up at reasonable hours, normally they'll say 2 hours at the beginning, but then the second they connect someone to you, they could be 30 to 20 minutes away. But then it's okay. But late at night, apparently, they don't have nobody available.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like, let's be honest. Like let's be real honest, right? Like, you're most likely to go through the bad stuff at night. Like honestly, like you're most likely when you hear people, right? If something happens during the day, you will call AAA, but you may have someone that can come and get you, or you may have a way to get around, right? But like when it's like AAA and it's late at night, you're almost like, I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. It got one point I don't think I almost slept in my car because I was like, if I leave the car here, I know it's gonna get stolen. At least if I'm here.
Well, they wouldn't be driving it if you got to call AAA. They wouldn't be driving it.
Listen, let me
maybe
tell you
it was
right
stripped.
Now. Let me tell you something right now, Gene. You know how this goes. When people want to make something work, they will bring the tire themselves, and put another tire on, and they'll drive off with it. Or you come around and I come back and that car will literally be on cinder blocks. Like I will be looking at it like, damn, bro. Like,
Yeah.
So that's why
I've seen it.
Yeah, that's why I just in my mind, I'm just like, man, because I have AAA also, but like I refuse to use it. Like I'm like,
let me ask you guys this though. But let me ask you guys this. Like, is AAA your auto insurance, or do you have another insurance company?
For me, it's my
They're
auto
both.
insurance. Yeah, for me, it's my auto insurance, and
Okay.
and I have the AAA. You know, I've always had roadside assistance with AAA, always. But then it is my auto insurance also.
Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah, I don't do that. I have AAA as my. I have auto insurance for like Geico.
Yeah.
And then have like a separate one, and then I have AAA as a separate attachment for roadside, because like you can get roadside through another company, like, but that's not what they specialize in. You know what I mean?
Well, sometimes your insurance, like man, what I got? I
Well,
got
I know.
Cure
Like
now.
I always say no to that because I already have AAA, and usually I
Gotcha.
feel like those other ones that's not their main thing, their main focus. You know.
Let me be honest with you. If AAA is taking 7 hours to get out to a place, what do you think's gonna happen if I go through an insurance company?
Well, I've never had that. I've never had that though. I mean, I don't. I mean,
God bless
I
you.
used to have AAA. I don't have it now. But I think the longest I've waited is maybe a couple hours though. You know?
That and also this other thing. Also, this other thing I was just gonna say.
But it's like what Joe said. They got to contact somebody else.
What I will say though is really quick. Also, Jeff, to your point, what I also meant to say was also something is going on with these insurance companies now that they are so quick to total a car. It is ridiculous. Like it is absolutely ridiculous.
It is.
They are
it's
so
crazy.
quick to total a car, and then God forbid you want to keep it, then you have to get a salvage title, and then no one wants to insure that. You go through like you literally jump through. It's really crazy, like how like insurance. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Insurance companies are up there with rental car companies for me. Of like the worst customer service, the people I do not want to deal with. Like they're up there because rental car companies are almost
so many different things too.
Yeah, rental car companies are starting to become the same thing. They're starting to become like, let's say Jeff says, "Oh, I want to get a Corolla." They'll say, "Okay," and then you get there, "Oh, we don't got it. All we got is a goddamn van, a 16-passenger van. I don't need that." Well, then we don't got a car. Well, then why did you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. And then they get mad at you that you're upset at them. I'm like,
and then they want you to buy their like $200 for the weekend insurance plan, and then they tell you at first, "Oh, if you have your own insurance, you can use that." Then when you get there, "Oh, sorry, that only covers this," and it's like, "Oh,
yeah, exactly." Yeah. I'm like, yo, I'm the victim. I'm the victim. Like, what are we doing here? So go ahead, though. Right?
Well, I got a Gopher story too, Jeff, from yesterday. Yeah. So so before me and Melissa went to Comic-Con, I said, you know what, let's go get some brunch. So we're gonna go get something to eat, and we're on Evergreen, headed toward 8 Mile, and the car in front of me is kind of swerving. It swerved out of the way, and as I'm approaching, I said, "Oh, it's a gopher or a groundhog. It's in the middle of the street for no reason." Now, this groundhog was not trying to cross the street. He was trying to commit suicide. And I told Melissa he's trying to kill himself. So there's about 2 cars ahead of me. So the first car, I see him swerve. When he swerves and goes away, the groundhog approaches the second car. He doesn't run. Most little animals run away from a car when it's in the road. He doesn't run. He is messing with the car in front of me. And he avoids him also. As that car goes around him, he backs away, and then it's my turn to come toward him. I'm not slowing down. I'm not angling or nothing. If he gets hit, he gets hit. I drive straight ahead, and I missed him. But I'm looking at his ass in my rearview mirror, and I was like, she said, "Did he cross the road?" I said, "No." She said, "What is he doing?" I said, "He's trying to kill himself. That's what he's doing." I saw him. I saw the groundhog, the car behind me, angled out the way. The groundhog went for it. He backed up. When the car missed him, he jumped under his back tire. That was it. I said, "Well, he's gone." She was like, "Oh, don't tell me that." I said, "He did it to himself. You can't feel sorry for him. We don't know what was wrong.
That's right.
Maybe he couldn't find any nuts. Maybe he couldn't find any roots. Maybe his wife's groundhog left him. I don't know what was his problem. Maybe he just had issues. I don't know what the hell was wrong with him. But maybe he's in a better groundhog place right now. But I don't feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for him or his family.
Like George Costanza said, we had an agreement. You know, we had the agreement.
Right.
That's such a good reference.
That happened to me this week too. It was like a squirrel just did not want to. It's like, all right, am I going to get out of the way? And it followed me to like when I swerved.
Yes!
I'm like,
hey, I don't know what to say with these animals. Like some, I mean, humans have mental problems. Maybe animals do too. I don't know. We can't take that off the table, Angel. We can't take that off the table. Something's
Our
wrong.
excuse is the antibiotics and the steroids in the chicken. Theirs is all the pollution in the water. You know. So,
yeah, probably so. You know.
He said his wife groundhog left him.
I don't know what his issue is. He could have had a bunch of problems. He could have had a bunch of problems. All I know is that motherfucker wanted to end it. That was it. That's all I know.
That's right.
And I believe he succeeded. And Melissa, she gonna tell me on the way. She's like, on the way back, let's not take this way. She didn't want to see the body. I was like, I don't care. We see roadkill all the time. Like, why is that gonna be an issue? I don't care about the groundhog. He wasn't my friend. I don't know him personally. Anyway. So man, yeah, I'm on the road too, doing a lot of traveling. Last week I came back from Indianapolis. Had a good time in Indianapolis. Now everyone listening, this is Thursday, but I'm about to go to Dallas for a couple days. I leave in the morning. Flight's at 8:48 in the morning. Go down to Dallas for 2 days or 3 days. I'll be back Wednesday night. I'll probably get back around midnight. That should be fun. Come back home. So I closed the school. So this is what I did. Nobody could teach for me this week. The boxing coach, jiu-jitsu coach. I didn't even bother asking Joe. Joe got so much
This is my busiest month. Yeah,
I know. I was like, I'm not going to even bother asking Joe. So I just went ahead and said, okay, so this is what I'm going to do. No class Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So what I'll do is I'll have makeup classes this week, which was last week. Friday and Saturday, I had classes. Now, for whatever reason, people don't like training on Fridays anymore, at least in Detroit. Nobody likes training on Fridays.
That was our favorite day.
Yeah, you would think so. That was fighting day.
Yep.
I had to move sparring to Thursdays so I can have people spar. Because when I had sparring on Friday nights, nobody was showing up. Very few people showed up. So so now Friday is boxing, jiu-jitsu, and me and boxing we take turns. 1 week is boxing, the other one is karate. So we flip-flop. But jiu-jitsu is always on Friday. So I had a makeup class. I said, okay, we got a makeup class Friday. We got a makeup class on Saturday morning. I only have, out of the 4 classes of kids, only 7 kids showed up on Friday. And only 3 of them showed up on Saturday morning for classes. So I said, hey, I offered it to them. I sent the message out, but I already knew. I used to have classes on Friday and Saturday mornings. I had people mad at me. I had parents when they called and found out that I had beginner classes on Friday and Saturday. I had people that not show up and were upset that I had weekend classes. So I stopped having weekend classes. And I told Steve if he wanted to use the school for private lessons, he could. Told Ty also if he wanted to use it, in Sankofa, if they want to use the school on the weekend for private classes, they could, just so we can, keep kids training and working out. But man, kids do not want to work out on the weekends, so yeah. So after all of that, we went out to Comic-Con, just like Joe said, man. I was so sore when I got home. Got back to the crib, watched some movies, watched some TV, and crashed out. And today picked up Champ, did some ripping and running, and that's it. And then his mom called. She needed some extra time. That's why I had to push the show back a little bit. Fellas, thanks for working that out for me. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So I still have to pack for tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's the worst, man.
I don't like. Well, that's cool, man. Hopefully, I'll sleep on the plane. But I don't like flying. I absolutely hate it. But I hate the whole process of flying. I hate going to the airport. I hate walking through security. I hate checking in. I hate waiting for the damn plane. Angel and Jeff, I do not know how you guys do this so much throughout the year, because I absolutely hate it with a passion. I hate sitting on the plane. I hate them coming by down the aisle with the cart with water and food.
Can I be honest with you?
I hate it all.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if Jeff may feel the same way or he may not, but I'll be honest with you, man. Like, two things. One, sometimes the plane ride is the only time I get to either have peace and think, or I get to, like, literally, because I can't do nothing but sit down. Mm-hmm. So it's like, to me, it's like a restful, like, nap. Or if I have to get stuff done, or if I'm thinking, it's like a no distraction period. It's almost like I kind of like it in that sense. And then the other thing is this, man. Like, I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like, I'm not a big driver. Like, I don't like to drive long period. Like literally, the drive to Jeff's school is like the longest I will go. I would not go past that.
How long does that drive?
From right now, my house, it would take me 8 hours to get to Jeff's school.
Oh yeah.
That's it. After that, I can't do nothing else. Like, so
I'm at like a 6 hour now.
Yeah. So, like, for me, like, that's it. Like, I don't like I remember one year you drove to WKC, right? One year, Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, when he told me, I was like, Jeff, I was like, I couldn't. I would literally, I'll pass out. I'll crawl out of my skin. Like, I couldn't do it. So, but like, for me though, honestly, when I fly, it's just like, it's peaceful, man. It's almost to a point where you get to just think, kind of get some stuff done. If you got stuff on your mind, whatever it is. And also, I will say this. Also, there are some movies that just haven't hit streams yet, and I didn't want to go to the movie theater to go pay to watch it. So I've been watching it on the plane. I
have been doing that. I have been watching movies on the plane.
What about you, Jeff? For you, is it the same?
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten harder for me to drive that long by myself now. Now I enjoy driving by myself because I can listen to what I want to listen to. I can listen to, I can listen to my podcast. I can listen to my Fight Nation, Sirius XM. But it's something for me. It's just way easier. Now again, a lot of times I have to drive to the airport pretty long. Like, for me, it's usually doing 2 to 3 hours to get to a decent airport. That's not going to be $600, So, so no matter what, like, a lot of times when I fly home and it's like midnight,
you still have to drive.
That is 3 hours home. So no matter what, I can't escape it. But I do like the flying better.
I will say this though. And I don't know if you have this. I don't know if it's the same for you guys in Michigan. I will say though, it is really easy to drive where Jeff lives. Like, 3 hours there and 3 hours up here. I can't do a 3 hour drive up here. Like, it is annoying. And not just because of traffic, but almost like there's too much activity when you're driving. Down where he is, it literally is like pastures and fields. And it's it's like smooth. Like, it's a calm drive. Like, I don't know what it is. I say it all the time. People know I hate driving. When I go down there, Sean and Gina, they're always like, "Are you gonna drive back? Are you gonna drive back in the morning?" I say, "Yeah, this is easy." Like, I'll say it's easy because for me, I'm like, it's a calm drive. Like, I don't, like, when I'm driving, it's like literally there's never any traffic. I don't ever hit any traffic. I don't think I've ever hit traffic once in Virginia, ever. I'm like, everyone just kind of like just goes about their own business. But when I drive up here, if I had to drive 3 hours here in Connecticut to get to Boston or New York or wherever, I would hate it. Like, I just can't do it. It sucks.
Is a lot of stop and go traffic?
It's stop and go, but it's also like there's the stress. Like, everybody trying to like rush and get in front of each other.
No, I can't do that. No.
On top of you trying to rush and get in front of each other, then there's like so much activity, then too many merging lanes, and I'm like, yo, it's too much for me, bro. How much do I just stay inside? I'm good.
Yeah, I agree. Yo, those two are crazy. So that's the only time I've like gone on a trip and I didn't drive my own car. Okay, is because Sean and Gina want to ride with me, but they will not ride. Okay. Sean was like, I have to drive your car. Like, wait, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wasn't sure about it. I'm like, all right, he's my senior. I'll let him do it. Like, I don't know.
Wait, when you guys went to KTOC?
Yeah, both times, like 2 or 3 years in a row that happened. Yeah.
Listen, when we drove to AP's tournament, not AP's tournament, the workout, and AP's tournament, actually, Noreen's tournament in Cincinnati. But every time I drove, again, I'll drive from Virginia to Ohio. 8 hours. I can do that. That's fine. That's my limit. But let me tell you, man, when I had them two in the car, good Lord, it was, you would have thought it was wilding out in that damn car because we were over it. We started arguing. Then Gene, let me tell you something with Gina. She was sleeping in the back. I'm telling you, I literally barely even, like, the car barely went like that. Barely went like that. Bro, she was knocked out. Woke up and said, "Motherfucker, you need to learn how to drive." I was like, what? I told her, I said, "Go back to sleep, man. Like, what are you doing? Like, go back to sleep. But ain't nobody bothering you. Like, you were fine."
Right.
And then she told Sean, she said, "Are we sure we trust in him? I don't think he's ready to drive." I was like, I'm a grown ass man, and you over here telling me I can't drive. Like, what are we doing here? But yeah, that's funny you say that because I know how that goes. So that's funny.
All right.
I felt like I was chauffeured, so that was funny.
All right, let's get to the show. Warriors season 2.
I just want you guys to know.
Episode 9 and 10. What's up?
I just realized I watched one of the episodes. I missed one episode. I watched a completely wrong one, and I realized it after, and I'm pissed because it was so good, and I was so happy to talk about it.
Now I'm confused. You texted me this morning.
No. Oh, I did. I'm saying when I went on, I thought I went to the right thing, and somehow when the show ended, I looked and it wasn't. I didn't watch the one I thought I watched. I watched season 3, episode 1, and I was like, God damn it, man!
Oh my God!
Dang!
Oh, you're all messed up.
Angel texted me and said, "What are we doing?" I said, "Episode 9 and 10, season 2."
I get what you're saying. I ended up watching 10. I watched it. I just didn't watch 9. But
9's the best episode.
I know,
wow.
9's the best.
Well,
it's literally called Enter the Dragon.
Let me tell you what. Season 3, episode 1. God.
Don't tell us now. We got a few months to go.
Hey, you know what I'm talking about, Jeff?
Bro.
Now that they have the Oscars coming out, I swear that should have won. That should win an Oscar.
I know, dude. This show is so good, man. Joe and I have been talking about this show for like 2-3 years now. Like,
I keep saying that. I wish they would finish it. The way it ends, they need to finish it. I don't care who picks it up. Just finish it.
Ian, you're going to agree with us on that.
Okay.
Yeah. So this backs it up a little bit because last time we saw that like Jacob was discovered, and the Bulls are looking for him. Hold on. Hold
on. Yeah. So Angel, you don't know anything about episode 9?
No, literally not one thing.
Okay,
He's
so
about
you
to
might
find
want
out.
to be listening. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Joe.
Be fun. You enjoy it.
Okay, so this goes back to the murder at Penelope's house of Mayor Blake. So it goes back and it shows Penelope getting up from being choked, and then the aftermath of everything. So she looks around. First, she's trying to figure out like what happened, who helped her. Then Jacob comes over. He drops the weapon. And she's still trying to gather herself. And then, after she sees that she's okay, she sees what Jacob did. And then she's like, oh, my God, what happened to Sophia? She goes and sees her sister. And then she's got to help Jacob. Like, they're going to kill him. Because at first she thinks, oh, we're going to tell the truth. And he's like, yeah, do you see what they do to my people over nothing? You think they're going to just let me get away with this? That's not going to happen. So she goes into panic mode. I know, right? She goes into panic mode, gives them a bunch of money, and tells them to like find a way out, like figure it out. The smart bet would have been for him to go to Cho, which he does eventually get to, as we saw, but it takes him a minute to get there.
Yeah. I would have just left. I would have just found a way to go to that moment. I wouldn't have stopped. I would have tried to find some type of way of getting as far as possible, but he had to see about his mom.
Yeah, that was the thing. He should have got on like a train or a boat or something, got the heck out of there, but he had to go check on his mom. So,
well, I knew he couldn't get on the train because Penelope said the train runs in the morning. But
all right.
Damn, like I would have got a horse, stole somebody's horse.
Yeah, exactly.
It just left.
You gotta get out of that thing, bro. You gotta get out of that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
He's being very heavily pursued.
Can I say something? All right, so the fireplace poker is pretty much what he did, right? And he got it in the back of that dude's head, right? We had one of those. We had a fireplace going up, right? My brother used to chase me with that thing. All right. So
that sounds like a brotherly thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. It's like those things are deadly. I would try to like, yo, you could kill someone with that. And now, it just flashed back to like, man, I'm glad nothing bad happened growing up.
I mean, yeah, they're hard, they're very thick, they're cast iron, and they're not super sharp, but I mean, you can enough force, you can really hurt somebody with that. So yeah, that'll hurt you. So, like I said, it brings us back to everything he went through, hiding. He was surviving on like eating rats and rainwater, and then he ends up with Cho, and Cho feels bad for him. Plus, he gives Cho a bunch of money that he got from Penelope. So he decides he's going to help him, and his way of helping him, apparently, he's done this before. So he puts him in a coffin, an empty coffin, not a coffin with some dead person, and he's gonna ship him out. Now this would have worked. The problem is Mai Ling gives up Jacob because she doesn't want the bulls in hers and anybody else's business.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
They also had it shut down, right? It was killing their town because they had curfew.
Well, they were creating a curfew. They were in everybody's business, and they were raising hell until they figured this out. Which Buckley told them to do. Not the Bulls had nothing to. They didn't want to do this. This was Buckley.
Right.
Now, if I was Jacob, I would have took my chances going to Sacramento or San Jose. Now I know I know this is gonna sound wrong, but it is what it is. Now I know that they said that they sent word, that the police sent word down there. But come on. Those people in Sacramento and San Jose did not know what Jacob looked like. All they had was that drawing, the wanted picture. And I'm quite sure they had some type of, Chinese people there. He should have been able to blend in. Those people would not have known what he looked like. I would have took a gamble if he could have found a way to get down to one of those other cities. And I would have just called myself something else. Like, I'm not Jacob, I'm Jimmy or something,
John Chinaman. He's John.
Yeah, something.
John Chinaman.
Yeah, but as far as it seems like everybody is scared to go back to China. Nobody wants to go back to China. So even Jacob even said, like, I can't go back to China, So I wouldn't have tried to do that.
So Cho says something to Mai Ling, and he's like, these are our own people. Why are we doing this? And she kind of throws it back in his face. Well, you did it to Zing, and he was like, "Oh, Zing's an asshole." So Cho's about himself, and Mai Ling wasn't wrong. I mean, it's still terrible, but she's not wrong.
Yeah, well, and she was in a bad spot too because Buckley was like, "You don't get, like, we're shutting all you down until, like, your job right now is to find this guy." So, like, he put the pressure on her to do it too. So it was kind of like, she had to make something happen, or it was going to be worse for her. So
now, because of all this, the Irish are already pissed. Then this happens. Now, they get Jacob, and they got him in a car. He's locked up, and there's only like 8 policemen and like 100 Irishmen as beyond me. But basically, they take out the Bulls or the police force, and they rip Jacob out of his his cart, and they hang him right in the town, right in front of Leary's place. Leary even comes out, but he came out like he was going to do something, but really he was just trying to save Sophia because she ran out because she was horrified what happened to Jacob. But remember originally when her sister was like, we're not going to, we got to, the only reason Sophia wanted to give Jacob up was to save her and her sister. But at this point, when she saw it in person, then she actually felt bad.
Yeah, when I saw that happen also, I think Larry was just surprised and confused as to what was going on because he didn't know. He when all of that just kind of happened. And then
I don't think he would have stopped it though.
No, I don't think he would. I know he definitely would have stopped it. But when I saw this happen, I was thinking like Chow and Jacob should have just said, you know what? I know this is wrong, but we're going to take one of these people that's already dead and string them up and put them out there because they wouldn't know. Say, oh, somebody already got to it. Somebody else already did it. It's not like the Chinese people could have said that's not Jacob Most of them don't speak English, so they wouldn't have been able to communicate that with the town people that wanted this riot. So I would have threw some Jacob clothes on them and.
I mean, the same way they found the mysterious swordsman, and didn't really do it. So
yeah,
could have done the same thing.
Yeah.
So this really causes the Tong to really step up, and they actually, for the first time ever, the Long Z and the Hop Wei, they join forces.
They have a choice.
Reluctantly, but to defend their town and to defend their people, and really just to get this mob down, man. Like they join forces, and meanwhile, Mai Ling and Wong, they get the hell out of there. They go and hang out with the toy, and they didn't even know a toy was all messed up.
Yeah. So this wild riot that broke out, man, was all over the place. And everybody was fighting, and if they weren't fighting, they were looking around confused and trying to get the hell out of the way. And that's what Chow and Mei Ling said. They got out the way. Even Young June, he was surprised as to what was going on when him and Assam were standing there. That was
Assam jumps right in. Assam jumps right in, just starts destroying everybody, along with what's his name? I can never remember his name all the time. The guy with the chain. Hung. Yeah.
Oh, Hung, yeah.
Yeah, I love that dude. He's always ready for a fight. And Young June is too, but he gets his knives and then he starts going crazy. But this whole thing was just one big riot.
Yeah, that's all it was.
The crazy thing about it is like they're only focusing on our, most of our heroes here. You're not really seeing, I mean, where's the rest of the Tong is what I kept saying. Like they were there, but it was really just Li Long, Assam, Young June, and Hong.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. They didn't really show anybody else. They were there. Everybody was there.
At one point, it was really just Assam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they zeroed in on, and they tried to give a little nod to Bruce Lee when he got the nunchucks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part. When he got those nunchucks, and just started messing everybody up. Like he was unstoppable. Like they needed a gun. That was the only way they were gonna stop him.
And I like seeing like him and Li Young like working together too. And like I thought that was cool to see, the two Tongs and all the other Tongs working together, which to me like is something you haven't seen before. And I thought that was a cool evolution of the characters.
Yeah, when I saw Assam with the nunchucks, and of course it reminded me of Bruce Lee, but it also made me appreciate Bruce Lee's skills with using the nunchucks, because Assam did not look like Bruce Lee looked when he did it. I mean, he looked fine and all, but there's definitely a difference in the,
Can I just say this?
The skills.
He held him with a different grip though. He had like an inverted grip at one point. I've never seen that.
Hey,
to get a better swing.
Hey, listen, I'm just gonna say this, and I know this is like not really a conversation for like this show in particular. And like Jeff, I know this would drive Alex crazy if he heard it, but like I really think you could put Bruce Lee on like a top 5 Chuck's list. Like I really do think so. Because honestly, like what Gene said, I've said that about him in all his movies. Of like the way he handles the Chucks in the scenes, right? You can tell that like he actually has skill, and he actually has like a high skill, and he knows what he's doing with it, right? It's like he's making it more theatrical for the movie, but like the speed and like the way at which he does it, like you wouldn't be able to do that unless you really have a high knowledge. Even like when you look at some of like the the props that they'll put in these movies, right? And you'll have like people that, whether martial arts based or not martial arts based, you could tell like, oh, they just learned it for the movie. Like it looks okay, but it doesn't look like whoa, right? Like there's just something about when Bruce Lee does it, he's not even doing fancy. I wouldn't even say he's not even doing like a fancy style of his Chucks, but it's so basic, but it's the way that he like makes it so intentional that it looks really good. So I don't know. What do you think? You think like he would be considered like a top 5?
I think so. I mean, I think, even like when we had Matt Emming on the show, that was the first person he, said was, Bruce Lee has to be on the list. for that. But so I agree on that, but I also know it also definitely looks better and the skill looks better when you add the sound effects, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So I mean, I think you can't tell me all those noises and stuff were real. So I think that adds an element to it too. It makes it look even more badass. But I think, he was legit on the nunchucks.
I agree. I just because Gene, now that you said that, like, he didn't do halfway bad. I was like, dude, honestly, like, when it comes to like a movie, I don't think I've ever really seen a movie that I was like, oh man, that dude reminds me of Bruce Lee with the way he does his chucks. I feel like Bruce Lee is just he kind of like stands out on his own. So.
No, I mean, I didn't mean like I meant like you could tell he's doing the movements, like the different mannerisms that Bruce Lee would do. But it's almost like all of us know how to do basic form number 1. We all know, we've all done that form, and we can knock it out and do it. It'll look good, even though it's basic form number 1. I mean, it can still look good. Now you take someone that's not a martial artist and you teach them basic form number 1 and have them do it. It's not going to look the same way that we do basic form number 1. You see what I'm saying? Because we've done it so many times, and I look at that as the way Bruce Lee used his nunchucks compared to Assam, the way he did it. Yeah, it looks like he learned it, but it doesn't look like he's known how to do that for years. Maybe he has, but it didn't look like it. Bruce Lee looked like he's on a different level the way he did it. But let me ask you this, and I know I'm taking up time, but Travis ain't gonna mind that much. But anyway, Jeff, Jeff, I mean, you're Jeffopedia, man. You would know the answer to this question out of anybody. We were talking about Bruce Lee and we talked about nunchucks. There is a video of him like playing ping pong. With nunchucks. That's what I wanted to know, because everybody I asked, they said they weren't sure if it was real or not. Okay,
that's not real.
That's not real.
Gotcha. That's not real.
Okay.
And even I think we talked about this on the
matches is the other one.
A couple of the. We did several Bruce Lee movies where I was on with you guys, like The Dragon, and then we did a couple other ones. And a lot of the video that people would see is him fighting Dan Inosanto, which was his student, but was also his instructor with Kali sticks, right, with screamer sticks. So like, it was more of it was like him. So that, oh man, look at this video of Bruce fighting, a real. He was whooping them up. I'm like, yeah, but that's his student. They're just sparring. It wasn't like, so the whole thing that
you talking about, that was the one at the demonstration? The demonstration he did at the tournament?
Yeah, the Long Beach International.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So there's some video of that, of him actually sparring, but it's against his student, right? And then there's the video, which we've talked about before, of him with several different guys, and people say that it's edited and all this and that, but that we can get on a whole nother Bruce Lee thing. We don't need to do that.
Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, so there's not really much more to talk about. There's about maybe 3 or 4 things. So one big thing is Young June is saved by his father. Because guy had him dead to rights. So Wong fights off people coming into toys. So he starts shooting people, but he runs out of bullets. So he's got to do some fighting, and he's chopping people up and he's messing people up, and he's just fighting for his life. So this is another time we get to see him. Like, he has some skill. He's not just, a wordsmith.
You talking about Chow again?
Chow?
Yeah, Chow. Whatever. I always call him the wrong name.
But who was that big? I thought you were talking about the huge guy. There was a huge guy that was one of
the. It was like her bodyguard.
So that's all right. I want to get on that. So he was around almost all the time when she needed help, right? Mm-hmm. Except the time when she gets beat up by those 2 guys. Like, what is this, right? And I'm like, wait a minute. He shows up in the next scene in the next episode, but where was he at before? Like, that made no sense to me. So that part.
What's funny is I never paid attention to him ever. I've never paid attention to that guy. Man, that's gonna make me want to go back and watch all the finale
of season 1. He's the one that drags those guys and like goes and like kills them.
Oh, I do remember that. Okay, well, I didn't. Okay,
yeah.
So. At the same time, Mai Ling helps the toy. She sews up her wound and tries to help her so she can. Because when they go up there, like, she's in bad shape. She has a fever. She's all swollen. Like, she's on death's door basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's bad.
So, and then so they have a moment, a brief moment. It's not very long, but you know, they're swapping horror stories and everything. And then the other thing that I wanted to get to was, did this happen in this episode? I'm trying to think of the aftermath. Oh, Lee was basically helping out the Chinese because at this point he's had enough. Like he's over it. And Bill's pissed. Bill's like, you self-righteous piece of, you know, he's got everything to say, and he's mad. But this is who Lee is. Like he can't help himself when he sees injustice, no matter what side it's on. Like that's who he is as a character.
You know what pisses me off? Yeah, because they paint him out to be such a good guy, but then I keep on thinking this motherfucker fought for the Confederacy. He can't be too good of a guy. I can't feel too happy for him, you know. But
I don't think that was his choice.
And Larry is part of the Union. It's like they should be flip flop, you know. So
true.
Yeah, but oh come on. Well, I get that. But the thing is, on Lee's defense, that was their job. Their job is actually to protect the Chinese. That's why they're the Chinatown. You know, that's their job there, not to, you know, beat them all up. But you know,
man, I keep on wondering. Like, it seems like Chinatown is right around the corner from where all these other guys are. It's like, how big is San Francisco at this time? Like, how come they can't be farther out? I wonder, because I really don't know. It seems the way this show is set up, it seems like it's small. And I know I've never been to San Francisco, but I don't think it's that small now where everything is within walking distance.
Probably not.
Probably not. I don't know. I just know that. Well, I mean, even in the beginning episodes when they are in where was it that Vega's place was? What's that town? Barbary Coast, right? At first, I'm thinking that's way far out. And then it kind of seems like it's not. It's just down the other block. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but it's just the way it was shot. It was just seems like it's not that big, you know?
Yeah.
So, but overall, this episode is sick, Joe. Like, and we're gonna see more on this next one on episode 10 of what? Well, because this is 9, and then it goes to the last episode, right? Of 10, because we haven't got to that yet, have we?
No.
What it does for Hassan, right? This really, as we're getting into season, we really see this becomes where he becomes a cultural like icon, like he becomes a hero, like Superman to them. And then that freaking you know, mural they put up there of him with the nunchuck, that's just sick.
Cool.
You realize
that was cool.
Something's different, and we're gonna get more of that where people start saying, "Hey, I thought you were that guy," and we'll see some of that in season 3. But I mean, we might as well go into episode 10.
Well, just the very last part of the 9 was they show up to get Jacob's body so they can give Jacob's body probably back to his family. And then, we go into episode 10 because this one ends. And Assam is out. He sees the Miro. At first, the way he looked at it at first, you didn't know how he felt about it. But then, like with his cocky nature and his attitude, and then even a toy comes out and is like, it's a pretty good likeness of you. And, you know, and she points out to him, like, these people think you're a hero. He says, it's just paint on a wall. It'll be gone in a week. But he doesn't see it that way. But this is the most humble we've ever seen Assam for now.
Yeah, I was wondering, was he true?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just wondering, like, is he really being humble, or does he really like it and he's just not trying to show his emotion that how much he wants it? Because it has been teased that he's going to take over the Tong at one point, you know, and he doesn't come out and say he's going to do it, but other people are starting to notice that.
Correct. But I think it's more of, okay, you could say it's humility, but does he really want to accept that hero?
Does he want to accept the role?
He doesn't want to accept that role because right now he's okay being a gangster. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he realized if he's that cultural icon and that hero, he needs to live up to a better standard than that. And I don't know if he's ready for that yet. You know, he likes being a killer.
He just likes fighting. I don't think he's doing it to be a hero. I mean, he's never thought of it that way. He's just doing it because he likes fighting. He's just a scrapper.
I'm so mad I watched the first episode of season 3. God damn, it was so good.
I know.
I know. God damn,
it's all good.
It only gets better. It only gets better.
I tell you, if every
I've watched
movie we've ever watched, if every movie we've ever watched started the way that episode started, I'd be hooked on every movie. I'd be like, yo, like I am here. Yeah. Oh my god.
So the next part, Lee ends up basically turning in his gun and badge. He's done. He has a conversation with Bill. He's like, I'm not going to be some puppet for a politician, dirty politicians, and doing all this. Like, I can't take it anymore. I'm done. I'm out. And
fine.
I mean, you know, Lee.
Yeah.
I feel like this has been a long time coming. I'm surprised it took him this long.
Yep. And it doesn't seem like in this episode, the last one, doesn't seem like he was suffering from that beating he took either. Seems like he's starting to heal a little bit, but his mentality seems different.
Yep.
Yeah,
for sure. Father June and Young June have a talk. You know, they're finally kind of back on talking terms and on the same page for the most part. And I thought that was good because it's the first time you kind of see him where they show some mutual respect for each other.
Correct.
Buckley is approached by Penelope. She's pissed. She has every right to be pissed. She told him he should have told the proper story.
Well, we didn't talk about that part, Joe. You didn't mention that part.
It's his fault that Jacob was killed. What part?
No. About that what she did, she ended up going to the newspaper and she wanted them to write a story about what truly happened.
Well, this was after this conversation though with him.
Oh, was it? Yeah. Oh, my bad. I'm jumping ahead. Okay.
She first said, "Hey, this is all your fault, this and that," and then she's like, "You know what? She basically told him, you love to hide in the shadows. I'm going to bring you to the light." That was her threat. Man. And then going to the papers was her way of trying to bring him into the light. Mm-hmm. But of course, that doesn't go the right for her because Buckley is Buckley and he's an idiot. And he's one step ahead of everybody in this entire show. That's how he is. Mm-hmm. Until he's not.
Yeah. Oh, this guy.
Assam goes to talk to a toy, make sure she's doing okay. Assam goes to talk to a toy and make sure she's doing okay. And it looks like he's almost trying to see if he can rekindle something with her. But then Nellie comes in and he realizes, like, oh, he's been broomed aside. This is New Bay. And he kind of just like, he kind of backs out and is like, okay, I don't want to be the third wheel here. Mm-hmm. And have a nice day. I thought that was a little funny, but whatever.
Yeah, their relationship's weird. How it goes from, you know, buddies, you know, whatever kind of buddies we want to call that, to like brother and sister relationship, to kind of business partners, to kind of, you know, they've gone through pretty much every end of the spectrum by the end of it. So
have we seen them together a lot this season?
No.
Well, in the beginning, they were working together, and then they had a little bit of a break because they just both got busy. So,
yeah, I remember. I know we saw them a lot together in the first season. This season, I remember at the beginning, the very first episode or so. You know,
I think he started dealing with her when he was messing with Penelope, and then once Penelope was done, he just started sniffing around again.
Well, I know they were going around chopping people up.
Yeah, they were killing people at
the beginning of the season. But then you know, she kind of went her way and he kind of went his way, and this was them coming back together. So because a lot had happened during that time, you know.
Assam and Young June have a talk, and Young June's excited because Mai Ling wants to basically come back and start kissing his ass, and he's basically like, she's scared because they wiped out the Feng Hai. I mean, really, the only one who's left is Zing, and he's in jail waiting to die.
We didn't know that though. We didn't know that because
we did know that because his trial sentenced him to death. We didn't know when. We didn't know if it happened already or what.
Yeah, but they alluded to him almost dying immediately. They didn't make it seem like he was going to be sitting in jail for a while. I thought that after he was convicted, I thought they were going to kill him right then and there. That's because that's how they made it seem earlier when that happened. So I was surprised to know he was still alive.
So Mai Ling's meeting with Young Jun, she tries to make it seem like she's there to praise him and congratulate him on taking over, which she should have done a lot sooner because he's been in charge for a little bit now. But of course, it's really, she's trying to posture to see where she's at. And of course, he throws it right back in her face. She gets frustrated and she gives up that her brother is Assam. And she didn't come there with that intention, but she did do it.
Yeah.
That changed everything.
That was a dirty move. That was a dirty move.
But it really was the only card she had left. What other card did she have?
Right.
No, you're right. You're right. It was
and right away, it did cause some disarray. But I mean, I think Young Jun got wised up. Like he's probably going to be watching Assam with one eye on him, but he does say, okay, I want to believe this is what happened. I want to believe this, but how can I believe this? You've been lying to me. Da, da, da. And then he basically tells Assam, you know, if I'm your brother, when it comes down to it, if it's between me and your sister, like, are you going to make the right choice?
Right.
And that's a tough question for Assam, I'm sure, because I don't think he can talk all the smack he wants about his sister, but in the end, I don't think he wants her to die. I don't any more than she wants him to die. But they're both in the roles that they're in right now.
Yep.
So yeah, it did cause a small rift, and it did let in just enough doubt to kind of shake Young Jun. And I think we're going to see more effects of that down the road for sure.
It also showed growth in Young Jun also because
you
know, I mean, he's a hothead, and normally he would have flew off the handle, but he thought about it himself and said, "Wait a minute, you know, she sentenced you to death, and the only reason you didn't die is because the police came in there." He started replaying everything that has happened over the time, and he agreed, like, you know, if you would have told me before, you know, I would have killed you. So, you know, and Hung brought that to his attention also. So I'm glad that he, you know, thought that out.
But he also has to think, you got the number one best fighter, and now he's got the people on his side. Like, these people are going to be looking at you guys now more for help.
Yep.
Okay. Mai Ling was playing the philanthropist. Now you guys get all the people in Chinatown. Mai Ling's going to be sitting there like, oh man, she's got no leg to stand on anymore.
But Young Jun also does not want to go to war with Assam.
No, not one bit.
He definitely doesn't want to do that either. You know, so.
Lee goes back to that bar where he that girl drugged him, and somehow he works his way into her bed. I don't even know how.
But, I don't either.
Bro.
He did. I mean, he's working his way. Now next season there's going to be all craziness with all that, and then he has a whole new problem coming next season. When we get to that, it's pretty interesting. This is the part you were talking about where Buckley, obviously he paid off the news person because Penelope had talked to like a journalist about telling the real story of what happened with Jacob to try and bring Buckley to light. We see her screaming and hollering at Buckley, oh, so now we're just going to pay off news, which of course Buckley's going to cover his ass like this. He finally got what he wanted. He's not going to let her take him down. It's just not going to happen. So this next one, we find out, remember how we were saying Assam has been humbled? He's not humble anymore because he goes right into Leary's bar and basically challenges the whole bar.
Yeah.
Until Leary comes out. He beats the crap out of like 8 dudes. And then when Leary comes out, he's just sitting at a table drinking. And there's still like 20 guys sitting around, but none of them are coming at him. So they don't want that smoke. They don't want that fire.
I think they knew who he was. Right. They knew who he was. They seen him fight.
You knew who he was. Did you see the guys on the floor?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
20 of them. Yeah, 20 of them. They're done. Yeah.
But no,
this is the most bad.
Yeah,
this is the best fight. But I'm sorry, I've said this before in other episodes. Leary should not have gotten as many hits in on Assam as he did. Assam should have tore him apart from the beginning. I realize they need to make this a bigger fight than it is, but Leary is just a brawler. A brawler should not be able to destroy Assam at all.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This guy's a lot bigger than him. What I like is like, all right, the season one ended with them two fighting. Now season two ends with them two fighting. So it's cool because honestly, both of them are playing very similar roles within their culture without really knowing it. You know, like there's some good to both of them and there's some really bad to both of them. And you really get to see those parallels of that. So I think
they're the leader of their group. As much as Young June wants to be, it's Assam. He's the number one fighter. He's the brains of the operation. Like he's the guy.
Yep. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Very good fight. Kind of a David and Goliath type fight. It goes back and forth. You know, Assam gets some hits in. Leary puts him down a couple times. Assam puts him down a couple times. And then for whatever reason, man, Assam just gets it together, takes a big deep breath, and then he just goes into serious mode and he destroys Leary. Like he almost like punched a hole in his chest, basically.
Yeah, he could have killed him if he wanted to. He could.
I mean, I'm surprised he didn't. He definitely. I mean, that was a punch right to the heart, almost. I mean, pretty much.
Well, you also see where last year where he almost died and where he was winning the fight and then lost, and you thought, oh, okay, we're seeing that same thing happen again. Is this going to end the same way as it did with Lee Young? And he learned and overcame that. So like you saw from the beginning of the season where it was all about him getting over that loss. And then now it kind of went full circle where he learned how to take that defeat and push past it.
Yeah. So he messed Leary up pretty bad. But the crazy thing is, Leary's right back at the end of the show, like sitting down like nothing happened. And I felt like he should have been in a bed recovering somewhere.
Yeah.
So I thought that was weird. We see Cho and Father June talking.
His name's Chow, man. His name's Chow.
Oh, God bless it. I don't know why I can't get his name. I get it wrong every time. I'm going to have to write it down. Chow. Father June's heading out of town. I guess his work here is done. He trusts, the guys to get things done.
He's enjoying retirement.
Well, I think this is props to Young June. I think in his eyes, I think he's finally thinking Young June can take over. So he can't be who he needs to be with his dad there. Because remember, originally wanted him to kill him. So he figures if he's not going to kill me, I'll just leave, and then he can do his thing without me, without being in my shadow. So, and they have a moment. They bow to each other. They have some respect. What else happened? What is this? But so during that conversation where Penelope is talking to Buckley, she starts she's really trying to get him. She wants to pin this on him and make him look bad, but we find out how crazy he really is because he takes something from his desk and starts stabbing himself to make it seem like she attacked him and like she's having a mental episode. So when her sister comes to find out what happened, he basically says, oh, well, your sister's mentally unstable, so they had to put her in a home.
Yeah.
So that
would make any sense.
Can I just say, you know how crazy you gotta be to take scissors and stab yourself in the shoulder?
I know.
And then let me tell you something. I thought it backfired. I thought he died. At one point, his eyes just kind of he was just staring. So I was like,
no, he's just playing the victim really well.
Know, but yeah, listen, Joe, for a second, he didn't even blink. He didn't even breathe. I thought he died. I was like, oh, it's over for him.
The messed up part is any sane person has to stay calm and rational if that happens to you. Because if any of us, if we wake up in the morning, we're tied down, we're all gonna be like, what's wrong? What's going on? We're gonna get looked at as, crazy, and probably gonna get doped up, shot up with something. Next thing you know, we're gonna be drooling.
Yep.
So I mean, I felt bad because nobody's going to believe her because every person who has an issue is saying that there's nothing wrong with them. And now here's someone who really there's nothing wrong with Penelope, and nobody is going to believe her, especially at this time in in 1800.
So, two more things. Bill's wife shows back up. She's not back for good, but she's considering coming back. And then Leary throws his hat in the ring for mayor.
Yeah.
Is it mayor? I don't think it's mayor. It's just like city councilor. He wants to sit on the board.
Oh, I thought it was for mayor. Okay,
no.
There's been a new mayoral race. Like Buckley doesn't just get that; they're going to have a new race.
He gets it, but there is one coming up. Yeah, we'll see that in the next season. Yeah.
Okay, and then the very last episode, we see someone in a cell, and here we find Zing, and he's kind of looking at the bars like we don't know what's going to happen, but I guess they're setting us up for season 3. So
honestly, I don't even remember that part. That's crazy to me. I don't even remember that ending.
Did you see it today?
I know. I'm trying to think.
No, I didn't watch it today, but yeah, I guess I just forgot about that.
Zing, he's alive. He's in jail, and they told him the correction officers told him to hold on to the bars at the back of the cell. He goes to the back and holds on to the bars, and they did that so they can open the cell up and throw his food in there for breakfast or lunch or whatever. And they close it back. And while he's holding it, he noticed that the bars are a little loose. So he starts shaking the bars. And that's letting us know that he might be trying to plan an escape. So
yeah, he's gonna be like them dudes in New Orleans. Gonna be like it's
too easy. Well, they got 2 of them. I think it's 2. I don't know if they got any more, but they got.
That is terrible. If this is a math test, that's terrible. That's only 20%. There's 2 out of 10.
It's stupid that you got caught. It's stupid that you got caught that fast.
The way he got caught was crazy. He was hiding underneath a car in front of a hotel.
They had a 7-hour head start. They broke out around 11 or 12. That guy got found at 7 in the morning. Like, dude, why are you even still in the vicinity? You know how far you just said y'all can get to another state within 8 hours. Like, why are you sticking around?
Criminals are stupid.
Listen,
criminals are stupid.
Not even just another state, probably like another 2-3 states. He put it.
Yeah.
And then you're in Louisiana, right? Imagine if you go to Texas, how big Texas is. You literally just gotta keep driving. You just gotta drive all the way to the border. That's really it.
All right. So, what are we doing next? Do we know?
No, I was going to ask you guys that. What's on the list?
Wait, so we're not gonna talk about did you guys talk about the final fight scene? Or
yeah,
we did. What are you doing? Playing Tiddlywinks?
No,
what's going on?
He's probably talking about season 3 already. The last fight scene was Leary.
Yeah.
No, it just I felt like I felt like that was an epic fight scene.
It was.
Yeah, but okay.
But we can't give the play-by-play. You gotta watch it.
All right, well, okay. That's what I was trying to say, but okay.
Angel, what stood out for you? What was your favorite part, buddy?
Hey, listen, man. Listen, let me tell you.
Go for it.
Let me tell you something. Honestly, though, this guy does a really good job at imitating Bruce Lee's mannerisms. He does a really good job. Because when he got dropped and he was about to lose, and then he gets up and he goes into a side stance, he does the hands, he finishes with a vertical punch, right? He does do a good job imitating him. And I will say,
but it's not over the top, though, Angel. It's not over the top. It looks like it's just a cheap imitation, or he's trying to purposely be. He just puts a little bit of his flavor in, right?
And that's what I like about it. And I think that's.
And he doesn't do any of the whoa. Because that would make it over the top.
Yeah.
I said this one time when we watched a movie. I said, doing a Bruce Lee role, actors don't take it because usually your career is ruined after. It's like it's such like a typecasted role, and then like what you said, like people do too much, so then the community turns their back on it because it's like you're trying to be Bruce Lee so much that like you're not him, and you'll never get to that. But that's why I said like I almost kind of like the way he did it, like how he incorporates it. It's like it's actually pretty good. Like it's actually a really good way. And then like I said, man, God damn it, man, I'm mad I watched the first episode because that was so good.
I know. The whole season of season 3 is insane, bro.
I mean, so Joe, what do you think?
Angel, just watch it, and then when we come back around, you can rewatch it.
No, I know. I'm just saying though, like you know how usually I like to stick with it as we go. But I was like, I watched that, and then when I realized that after, I was like, damn, I can't even talk about this. I was like,
I don't know, Gene. I got nothing. Like honestly, Jeff, you got anything you think we should watch?
Don't. That's the wrong question to ask. That man has.
I mean, you know, King of the
thing is, with Jeff, we got to make sure that it's available on some of these streaming platforms.
I know, man. Oh, I know, because some of the 80s stuff and the 90s stuff isn't out right now, right? Or it's like you can't find it. It's crazy. But there's a lot of stuff like. I mean, again, there's King of the Kickboxers, which is okay, right? I mean, it's wild. It's some crazy stuff. But there's some Don the Dragon Wilson movies that you could do that are different that people y'all haven't done before.
Hey, you want to know what something we could do? I was thinking about this. Okay, I will say this. Sorry to interrupt, Jeff. I will say this. Because we watch a lot of martial arts movies, my Amazon Prime now only gives me martial arts movies. Actually, sometimes I get mad, right? But I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I wouldn't be opposed as almost like if we did kind of like a spoof type of review. If we start reviewing some of the sequels or the sequels of the trilogies to the bigger movies. So like I was watching, I think, Kickboxer 5 with Mark Dacascos. Like I was like, and honestly, like low key, I was like, oh, he actually didn't act that bad in this movie. Like he did Double Dragon. I was like, this is terrible, but like he's actually pretty good in this one. Like it's not bad. So we can do some of that stuff. Or what do you got, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, I think something like that's cool. Wait, how many Kickboxer movies did you guys see? Did y'all see the first 2 or 3, or did y'all just do the first one?
Like we didn't get to Sasha Mitchell yet.
Okay, yeah. You ain't got to. You may need to do that.
We didn't get to Sasha Mitchell yet.
Hey, I think I've asked this question before. We've never gotten to Sasha Mitchell and Batista.
No.
Oh, time out. There's a movie that maybe I don't think we've done. So remember when we did the oh dang it, what's the ones with Donnie Yen? Ip Man series. You guys need to do the Ip Man Legacy one. I know that was hard to find, but it has Batista in there, and it has all right. You remember the third movie and the guy that was his rival? Mm-hmm. So he has a movie that's just him, and I think it's Master Z. That movie is awesome. That now
Master Z.
Yeah. What is it on? Is it
I watched it originally on Netflix, and then I don't think it's on there anymore.
Master Z Ip Man Legacy.
Yeah. That's movie is
a good. It's called Master Z Ip Man Legacy. That's what it's called.
Yeah. Yep. So it's like a spinoff.
And it's on Amazon. There's a regular one and there's a English dub. So.
Well, you know which one I'm watching.
Yeah, I'm about to say that. You said English dub. I got you. I'm with you on that.
The fight scenes in that are cool, and it has enough of like Americans and stuff in there with some different things. So and it gives you a little bit of like flashbacks from the Ip Man movie and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
All right, we'll roll with that then. All right, cool.
That sounds fun.
And also on Superflix this week, we are going to watch RoboCop. We just finished up with the Batman series. So we're going to step into the RoboCop movies. So I haven't seen the first one since the 80s. Yeah, so we're going to start off with the 80, the first one.
How did you maneuver that in there?
RoboCop?
Yeah.
He's kind of superhero. We're doing superhero sci-fi and fantasy movies on Superflix, so
why did you do Pulp Fiction?
Huh?
Why didn't you do Pulp Fiction yet? I'm surprised you haven't done that yet.
Why would we do
that? Why are you arguing?
All right, we're gonna move along. We're gonna move along.
You have an issue with RoboCop not being. I mean, I was going to defend you on that one, okay? Because it's not like a comic book movie or something like that.
That's why I'm confused.
Yeah, but it's what you say.
It's
not
sci-fi. What we cover is superhero, sci-fi, and fantasy with Superflix.
There you go. I would say that's fantasy, right? What is fantasy about? Like
Pulp Fiction, sci-fi.
If anything.
How's that sci-fi? Time out. What is sci-fi about Pulp Fiction?
It's actually classified as sci-fi. I'm not even joking, bro.
How? Is there aliens in that thing?
No. I don't know, but I've seen it before. That's what the classification is. What do you want? What do you want me to do, Jeff? I don't go there and just make the genre. I'm like, I don't.
I have never heard anybody think Pulp Fiction is sci-fi.
Yeah, I'm googling this right now.
All right, I'm assuming we're all giving this series Warrior season 2 an A, right?
Yeah.
Right. A+ for me. Yeah.
All right, cool. You guys got anything else?
Well, hold on. Also, just a thought. I think you guys should review Ghost Rider because I would just love to hear the commentary of Gene. Because
we're eventually going to get to Ghost Rider.
I rewatched it, and when I rewatched it, I was like, I know he must hate this movie. I was like,
actually, no, I don't. I don't hate Ghost Rider.
Pulp Fiction comes up to me on IBD as a crime thriller.
Oh, that's
yes, exactly. I'm doing that now too. I'm looking at
that's so cool.
Okay.
It comes in comedy, action, thriller, dark comedy. I don't see anywhere sci-fi. Actually, they list 10 different options. All right. Yeah. No. Nothing.
All right. Get that outro, Gene.
Oh, hold on. You know what? Matter of fact, I made a mistake. Next week, I don't know where the hell I'm going to be. Next week is my anniversary weekend, and I don't know where the hell I'm going to be at all.
You ain't recording next weekend, bro.
Yeah, that's not. And then that Monday is going to be Labor Day. No, Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
So we might end up just like the Winter Circle, coming back June 1st. So we might take next week off and just come back June 1st. With what was the name of the movie again?
Master Z.
Master Z.
Master Z. Itma Legacy. All right, we'll do that. All right, everyone. Stay safe, stay strong. We'll let you next week, and I will play our music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.